WTBQ.
Hi, I'm AJRoss, President and CEO of AJRoss Creative Media. Welcome to Creative Marketing on WTBQ. Every week we'll be discussing different topics and trends that can help market your business. If you'd like to call us and ask a question or want to give your input, you can call us at 845-651-1110. Again, 845-651-1110. We are also live streaming at facebook.com/AJRoss Creative. Again, facebook.com/AJRoss Creative. My guest today is Heather Rowland Blanco. Is that correct? Say it all right? Okay. And joining me on the show is Carlos Vega from AJRoss Creative Media. Let me tell you a little bit about Heather. Heather is a graphic designer, makeup artist, model, and actress. She's been a social media influencer for 4 years using the handle Vessel of Blood. She has worked with many brands including CoverGirl, Maybelline, and Kat Von D Beauty. Heather is currently a personality on a live streaming app called Bigo Live?
Sure.
Okay. Before we talk to you, I want to give the quote of the day. And this is from Robert Weiss. He's a videographer, a big-time guy in New York City. Business decision makers love online video because it gives them the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time. That makes sense, right?
It does.
Sure.
Okay. So welcome, Heather.
Thank you, Alan. Good morning.
So what we're going to be talking about, and I'm sure, Carlos, you'll be tuning in quite a bit, is about, what you've been doing on YouTube. You've done some work with AJRoss as a designer. You're a wonderful designer.
Oh, thank you very much.
And, I must tell you that, in person, working, you're very quiet. And then I go on your YouTube and wow, and you're terrific. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing?
In YouTube or just in general?
Just in general, and what we're going to be talking about is a lot of, how to market on YouTube, and so just give us a little input of what you've been doing recently.
Well, sure. Recently, I've actually been working as a personality on a live streaming app called Bigo Live. And what I do is I just kind of entertain, and I do a variety of things. I sing, I dance, I do my makeup, and I just sit there and chat with the audience and talk about different topics. So it really depends on how I'm feeling that day.
It's funny. I was watching Undercover Boss the other night, and who the undercover boss was Bethany Moda. Have you heard of her?
I haven't, no.
Bethany, she's an American video blogger, and she's got like 10.5 million followers.
Wow, good for her.
And she rose to fame for her haul videos in which she shows her fashion and style purchase via the internet. And she was like giving away $50,000 to all these different people.
Wow.
So it was kind of interesting to see that show right before, because I was thinking about what we were going to talk about. So tell us a little bit about YouTube, and from what I've been hearing, Pinterest and YouTube are probably one of the highest used online. It's even more than Google these days.
I believe that, yeah. Because for me, even with my work, when I get my inspiration, I don't go to Google. I go to Pinterest, or I go to YouTube or Instagram. That's what I go to for all my images these days, because that's what I feel is the quickest, easiest way to find a variety of images that appeal to me. So for YouTube, for example, I can understand why she has so many followers, because fashion videos are some of the most highly viewed videos on YouTube. People love seeing, even unboxing videos, people showing what they get in the mail and just opening it and showing each item, showing it off, trying it on. And I think it's kind of like an interactive experience for the audience, because it's like being there with the person.
Right.
And they get to see, it's like hanging out with a friend trying on, new clothes. It's exciting for a lot of people.
Okay. Being a businessman, an entrepreneur, and old, but we're trying to learn as much. We're doing a lot on YouTube. We're doing a lot of videos at the agency. My main thing is, how do you make money?
Well, through YouTube, you have to have a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of views in order to get monetized, which is how you work with, getting paid. And it's through a certain program called AdSense, and that's how you get paid through YouTube. It's the number of views you have and the subscribers.
Okay. Carlos?
I'm not on YouTube, so I can't.
Well, tune in. You have any questions to ask?
Well, I think the important thing is not just to focus on YouTube, but social influence overall.
True.
Which I know you're on a multitude of social media.
Yeah, it's not just YouTube. For me, my most highly used social media are Snapchat and Instagram, because I feel like a lot of people, they turn to YouTube for entertainment. They like live streaming for entertainment and to watch things, watch videos, like I said, the unboxings and fashion things. But also, people have a short attention span. And to ask them to sit down and watch a 15, 20-minute YouTube video is asking a lot. So with Instagram and Snapchat, it's a lot less to ask of them in terms of time and engagement. So you can sit down, watch maybe a 15-second video on Snapchat or Instagram, and people are more likely to do that because they can scroll through and feel like they're watching more than just sitting down for 15 minutes and watching one video.
Well, here's my input. What demographic is using this kind of...
I know what word you want to say.
Younger.
Well, I'm not going to... Carla said I couldn't use the word millennial, so I won't use it. Do I sound familiar? I won't use the word millennial, but I'll say millennial. Millennial. Yeah.
But yeah, it is a younger audience, and I would say even to, I would say mid to late 30s, 40s as well.
Really?
Yeah, because I've sat with friends of mine and older people, and then I see more people, like my dad, for instance, he's in his 70s now, and all he watches is YouTube all day long. He'll just sit down and watch video after video after video,
Wow.
and that's his entertainment for the day.
That's cool. I mean, I like to go on YouTube and watch the old fights.
Yeah.
You know, if there's something, and also like on Optimum or Altice, there's an app for YouTube. I mean, it's
YouTube's putting out their own channels
They
now,
have their own channel,
shows.
yeah.
They have YouTube Red, yeah.
Yeah. So, how many followers do you have?
Right now on Instagram, I think I have over 40,000, and on YouTube, I just hit 68,000 subscribers.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not 68,000. My apologies, 6,800. I
Now-
wish I had 68,000.
So, as
Eventually.
Eventually.
and so what you do a lot on your YouTube channel is you promote different kind of makeup and those kind of things.
Yes, on my YouTube channel, when I first started out, it was all makeup, but then I switched over because I want to just do more than one thing. So I'd branch into fashion, some accessories, and brands started reaching out to me to collaborate, and they say, oh, well, we'll send you this product if you showcase it on your YouTube. And some of those things were unboxing. So, for example, I would do, normally on the spookier end of things because I am more goth or alternative. But one thing that was very popular on my channel was unboxing a monthly subscription box. And that was, makeup, candles, bath soaps, popular things. And people really enjoyed watching those.
So, I'm just trying to tell some of our listeners. So, you get all of this sort of stuff. So, as you get a whole bunch more of listeners and followers, then the money is made when they ask you to come and talk, or do the people who send you the makeup give you? Do you get paid for doing?
On
it?
occasion, not as much as I would like, but that's because companies, this is free promotion for them. This
Right.
is free advertising, basically.
Right.
And some kind of companies will pay, and some will not. It depends for them. I think the factor that makes them want to pay more is how many followers you have and the views.
Right.
Because it makes sense that you'd want to pay someone who has 50,000 views on YouTube versus someone who only has 2.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense.
So you're working on getting more followers.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can help you today.
Well, thank
In
you.
fact, why don't you tell people how they can follow you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all under the same name, Vessel of Blood. I kept it simple.
And you can go on our Facebook and you can see all of Heather's information on our Facebook. Got about a minute before we go to break.
The other thing that you need to consider with this too, and putting it in correlation with traditional advertising, is social influencers like Heather. They're the kind of people we would go after, like marketing lists, email lists,
Yeah.
people that have taken the time to create a trusted audience. And where email marketing and direct marketing used to be like that, now it's more social influencers. They're the ones really building that trust in an
That's
audience so
true.
you can use it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have about 30 seconds left. I'm going to ask you, if we can't get it all in the 30 seconds, what are the pros and cons of being an influencer?
I would say some of the pros are being able to influence others and having your voice, be heard. And if I want to promote something, then people actually care and trust about my opinion.
We'll
which
go
is lovely.
forward after the break. This is
All right, sounds good.
AJRoss, Creative Marketing. We'll be right back.
AJRoss Creative Media is the premier marketing, advertising agency, web design, and social media company in the Hudson Valley. AJRoss connects their clients with prospective customers by generating powerful marketing and advertising concepts. Meet with the AJRoss team and you'll walk away with a new and innovative approach that'll bring your company to the next level. Contact the AJRoss team and set up a free consultation and get started with the best. Visit AJRoss.com.
Clark Howard. This is Clark Howard.
If you're having a problem with a bank or someone else in the financial world, go post cfpb.gov.
Weekdays from 1 till 3 on WTBQ.
Hey, this is Joe Dans. Connect the dots in these challenging times with my creativity and technology for business and life show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on WTBQ, AM 1110 and FM 93.5. Radio worth listening to.
WTBQ. Hey, it's Alan Ross again with Carlos Vega and Heather Roland Blanco. Am I pronouncing your name correct?
It's fine.
Oh, okay. And we're
Just call me Heather.
Okay, well, Heather. And she is what they call a social media influencer, besides, her being a wonderful graphic designer. And she's worked for AJRoss. In fact, we're going to sit her down and see if she can help us with influencing online. We were talking about
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons of being an influencer, and we went to a break. So why don't you continue?
Leave where we left off?
Yeah.
Sure. So some of the pros of being an influencer are that, if you have a cause that you're passionate about, say for some people it's, going vegan or, adopting pets from the shelters instead of buying, through other means, you have a platform that you can, promote that. And that's a way for businesses to connect. So if shelters would like to sponsor a post, they could reach out to you and you could say, this dog is up for adoption or something like that. So it's another way for businesses to kind of go through. But it also helps because it's something that you're passionate about, that you're speaking on. It's not just a paid advertisement that you don't really know anything about.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Another question. What's an effective way to gain and keep a following on social media?
On social media, I would say the best way to keep and gain a following would be consistency. For me, when I first started, I made sure I posted at least once a day, every single day, no exceptions. Mm-hmm. And I lost sleep. I didn't spend time with family and friends. But because I was able to keep up that consistency, I was able to gain a following because people would expect to see something from me every day. And then they would get something. They would see either a post or a video. So they would appreciate that and see consistent content.
So you say you have 6,000 followers on YouTube?
Yes.
How are we going to get that to 50,000? No, really. How are we going to do that?
YouTube, it's been a bit of a transition lately. Same with Instagram, actually. A lot of people have been losing followers because of the new algorithm that's been going on. And that's because they want you to pay to be seen as opposed to, just being shown to your followers that you already have. So it's a little different now than it was when I started 4 years ago. But
See, that's a whole word that has come up in the last few years, algorithm.
Oh, they've been around for a long, long time.
Yeah, but it's really like
behind the scenes.
Yeah, especially like on Google, they change their algorithm all the time.
They do.
It's an ever changing. Like we tell our clients, you got to keep doing SEO every day on your website. Content is king.
It is.
And tell us how video and content work on YouTube or on Instagram or the other.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, content is king. When you put a post on to YouTube, do you put keywords on the back end?
I do. I tag a lot of different things. I tag different brands that I might have used in the photo. Anything that I think people would search for when looking for a video kind of like mine, I include.
Carlos, why don't you explain what tagging and that sort of stuff is?
Yeah, tagging is pretty much just the keywords that identify what's in the video. Kind of like when you're choosing your headline or your cover graphic. You want to quickly identify, what it is that you're talking about, what this video is going to be about. Is it an unboxing? Is it about fashion? Is it about makeup? Is it about a certain topic in business? And then you're just kind of working all that into the actual back end of the video a little bit. Just keywords, essentially. And your title's important as well.
Yeah, so how can we help people who are listening to the show, companies, help them, get involved in this sort of stuff?
Well, I think a lot of that goes into following through with what social influencers are doing. First off, one of the most important things is what's trending. What are people looking for in content and videos? And, you know, make sure that that's working. And use those keywords, build off. If you just go to Google and you type in a subject, say it's, you know, how to market your business, it's going to automatically start suggesting keywords to you based on what people are commonly searching. It gives you topics to create videos about.
Right.
And then carrying over audiences, which is another thing I think Heather could really talk about, because she's on multiple social media, you know, Instagram to YouTube, they're all different audiences. We were talking about this in the car a little bit. And how do you build one audience in one place and kind of get them to cross over?
It's
in marketing
tough.
is very important.
Right.
Well, for me, what I usually do in terms of crossover is that I try to, like for me, I started off, my main social media was Instagram. And for that, I started posting on Instagram saying, you can also follow me on Snapchat, on YouTube. And I would promote different videos that I wouldn't post anything about on Instagram, except you can see this on my YouTube channel.
Right.
Because why would people go to my YouTube channel if they can see it on my Instagram or on my Snapchat? So it's about posting things that you might not be able to see on one particular channel that you can see on another.
And the mediums also have different formats to them, and even though they may be slightly different.
Yeah. Like, for instance, Instagram, you can only post a video up to a minute long on your timeline. So on YouTube, you can post up to over an hour, I would say. So that's a big difference.
I wish the days of traditional putting an ad in the paper was so much easier.
Yeah, but it's so interactive now, and it connects you to people more.
Yeah, but there's so many people doing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it still weeds out through the ones that are trusted. The people, like she said, consistency is important.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the right things that people want to hear about? You still have to find your voice, and you still have to be somebody that's trustworthy and honest and staying consistent and constantly posting stuff, but also making sure it's relevant to what people really care about.
You know, I think it'll be surprising to say this, but the biggest spending demographic still are the baby boomers. They still spend more money. Well, no, I'm not going to go. Well, millennials still live at home, nevertheless spending money. But
not necessarily.
Now,
That
there's a
generation is actually getting to be more and more.
Well,
of a
they're
spend.
not buying homes; they're renting. You know, they're not investing; they're putting the money in like a bank account. So it's a different, you know. But still, you have baby boomers who have, you know, a lot of them have saved a lot of money, and they're spending a lot of money. You know, and a lot of them go on Facebook. A lot of them. I mean,
Well, surprisingly enough, Facebook is still, even for social influence, still number one.
It's still the king.
I mean, YouTube's
Yeah.
right on its heels, and it's going to dominate it eventually.
Yeah.
And Instagram and all these other guys are trying to get into the game by creating live stories.
Well, Instagram is Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram.
They own the same thing, but they're building the mediums to have similarities to them. They're trying to find what people really want and build ways for them to do it in their own unique way.
Still, this is the old man talking. When people need a service, they're going to go onto Google and they're going to look for that service.
That's true.
Yes.
Unless they also have targeted advertising. For me, this has been kind of scary. I was looking at buying a mattress with my boyfriend the other day, and my phone was off, or so I thought. So we were looking through the mattress store, and then we go home, and I scroll through Facebook. There's so many ads for mattresses.
Yeah.
Geo-targeting.
Geotargeting,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, geo-targeting is, well, for example, Maureen Hallahan from the Orange County Partnership, or the Orange Partnership now, she went to a trade show in Arizona, I think it was, or
somewhere out there,
Colorado.
yeah.
And we said, you know, when you walk in the room, people are going to know you're in the room. And she walked in, we geo-targeted the cell phones, and she walks in and a bunch of people came, I can't believe I just saw you on my phone. And that's geo-targeting. And, you know, it's amazing. It's almost, we talked about this too, geo-targeting. It's almost, you know, it takes away privacy on some of this stuff.
Yeah, I
you
would
know, I
agree.
mean, you know, you want to get to somebody in a law firm, or you want to reach somebody, you know, you figure out how to get there on their phone, and they're geo-targeted when people walk into that building. So there's a whole lot of different ways of doing it. But
Yeah, as a marketer, it's amazing and it's fantastic, but as somebody that's a shopper, it can feel invasive.
Yes.
oh, but absolutely.
You know.
I mean, well, Facebook is invasive, as we found out recently, and they still have a lot of work to do. And they still say that there's some of the countries, Russia or whatever, are still breaking into the voting. And
well, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject. You know, it's just amazing that the biggest and most smartest country in the world can't figure out how to stop that. You know, but that's another topic for another day. So.
But, you know, just to talk about social influence again, you know, how do you really kind of cross over your audiences? And, you know, how much advantage have you seen with building up your other channels? Such, I know you're doing Twitch and you're trying to build your YouTube up. How's your other mediums helping that?
It's a little difficult, to be honest. The most success that I've seen is now that I've been streaming on this app called Bigo Live. I used to do Twitch, but it wasn't really working for me as well as I had hoped. So I've seen so many new followers on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Facebook even, just from promoting it on this streaming, because streaming is really the new frontier for social media. I feel that streaming is going to be the future for right now, because that's what people are turning to besides YouTube, is streaming for their entertainment now.
And you hit on something that was really important too, which is not just because every social media is out there doesn't mean you have to be on it. You have to find the right ones for yourself.
Yeah, not everything
and what your goal
will work.
is. You know, which is, I know, a big fear of a lot of companies out there when you talk about social media for business. Everybody goes, well, do I have to be on everything? I don't have time for it. It's about finding the right ones for what your goals are.
Yeah.
And then putting the right content out there. You just can't be on YouTube. You just can't put posts on Facebook. Has to be the right content for your audience, or you're going to trick yourself into thinking this medium doesn't work.
That's true.
And you know, what we're starting to do too, the new iPhones are just ridiculous as far as videoing and filming. And
the last few generations have been getting better and better.
In fact, that's what we've been doing. We're talking about once the show's over, we're going to do a video on and just do a synopsis of what we talked about and what we got from it, and then we'll put it on YouTube. You know,
well, there's a lot of afterthoughts and conversation that happen after the radio, you know, or in between breaks and all this that, you know, we don't get out there to everybody on air. So, you know, just putting some of those tidbits out there, I think is going to be important.
Yeah.
And it's good content again.
Yeah, content.
Well, it's creating a story. That's really what it is. You're bringing somebody along through a story. Like you said, they're following you. You're a trusted resource. Yeah. It may be different things, but there's a consistency in a storyline that gets developed.
Yeah. We got about 2 minutes left. So the future for you, what is it?
Well, right now I've been really enjoying streaming. That's something I kind of fell into, and I've been doing it for about 6 months now, and it's really a lot of fun. I enjoy it because I get to kind of make my own schedule, and I get to do almost whatever I'd like. So for me, that's makeup and singing and just having a fun time.
And you're following, they'll see the streaming and that sort of stuff on your followers.
Yes.
So, just a little to tell everybody, and especially your generation, we need a vote. You need a vote. Don't complain about what's going on, or if you like what's going on, you got to go out and vote. You got to tell your friends to vote.
Yeah.
Am I
Talking
right?
about something isn't good enough.
No,
for you to take action.
And that's action, is voting. You know, if you want your company to become successful, take action and get experts to help you get on Google, to help you get on Facebook, to help you get on YouTube. And trying, there's experts who not like yourself, and I consider us experts. You need to do those kind of things to, keep current, and it changes every single day. You know, it's amazing.
But you also have to, post something that you would actually watch. That's the one thing I always find it's really strange is people put content out there, but it's not even something they would read. They just think, well, I put something out, it's good enough.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. If you wouldn't watch it or read it, don't put it out for others.
Exactly.
Okay, well, we're at the end of the show, and I want to thank you, Heather, for being here. It was really interesting. I still am trying to learn, you know what I mean? And this is AJRoss from AJRoss Creative Media. If we can help you with any of your marketing, give us a call at 845-783-5770, or you can go on our website at our website is ajross.com. This is Creative Marketing. We'll speak to you next week. Thank you.
Your community radio station since 1969.